We bring in Scott Bauer, the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. He's joining us this afternoon for a look at a few he's got his eye on and thinks we should as well. Scott, welcome. A busy week for traders, for investors alike. Today, Ford reported better than expected quarterly results. That's got them bid today. I think I saw them up to $14.79, off the highs from earlier, but a nice move up.
Absolutely impressive. Raising guidance, the fact that they were able to manage the chip shortage the way they did, absolutely impressive. But rarely, Ben, rarely have I seen so many, if you will, pile-on revisions coming from the analyst community right now. There's a massive, massive option volume today, 2-to-1 call-put ratio, but huge amount of buying for options, call options expiring tomorrow at the 14.5 and 15 strikes. I would be really cautious on this one. When I see so many of these revisions, so many analysts piling into this, yeah, the news was great, but until Ford can, show me a sustained pattern like this, I will always be sell first.
All right, I like this. Scott, in terms of what we've seen recently in terms of Ford, we've got the daily time frame up. You can see the move here, and recently up to 1645. Now, we got up there in the beginning of June. Since then, we've actually been progressively lower. A gap higher today has them up by 3.5% right now as we speak. And, I was noticing they were expecting a loss of 11 cents. It came in EPS at 13 cents. Revenue beat 268. They were looking for, 2.68. They were looking for 2.15. Scott, talk to me because GM's also getting a lift here, I notice. And what's going on there?
Yeah, it's getting a lift, probably on Ford's coattails right now. There is a lot of positive talk about game-changing battery technology coming out, and that outside of, what they report with their EV metrics, that is what people are going to be looking for. This stock has traded basically sideways for 6 months since that breakout that we saw in January. There is significant technical resistance above around 62 or 63 or so. I'd be really, really hesitant to be buying into the earnings call.
Scott, I'm looking at GM. They gapped up today, currently trading up on the day by 3.25%. They've been in a bit of a range here, though. We're talking about, well, depending on how you look at it, since breaking through 50, we'll call it, in a bit of a range over the last year. So something to keep an eye on here. But 64.30 is a level to take out in terms of the upside, and earlier mentioned Ford 1645. So two names to watch here. Speaking of a couple names to watch, we've got a couple, Bud and Tap I'm looking at investors, and Scott, they've got bitter beer face to say the least at this point. Talk to me what's going on. Anheuser-Busch currently trading down on the day by about 5%, the gap lower, but they've been cascading lower, spilling over, I guess you could call it, after topping out around $80, $79.67. That was back in mid-June.
Maybe not so bad, not as bad as what we saw at a SAM last week, but for Budweiser, lower than expected earnings and sales, but the top and bottom lines did improve year over year. Saw the stock dip below the 200-day moving average right here. I don't see much support below this here until we get to 58, 59 area. The general trend here has been to the downside. That area down 58, 59, maybe that's an area I'd start picking at a little bit here, but I'd say overall this was pretty disappointing.
Okay, let's move on here. You've got another one you wanted to take a look at, something that's going to end at least this discussion on a positive note. Hilton, well bid today after earnings, if higher today, 5 in a row. It looks like to the upside, something like 8 out of the last 9 if higher today, breaking out of a range they've been in since February.
I was just going to say that. It broke out from that flat line. Very impressive move to the upside. I really like what they had to say, but very similar to other businesses in the travel industry, especially the airlines, they're just not seeing business travel come back yet. And for me, that's going to be kind of the differentiator, Ben, for many of these stocks, is when is that business traveler going to come back? So this is a nice move. It's an impressive move here in Hilton, but I'd still be in sell mode first. And I hate to be, kind of this, bearer of glum news here, but I would sell any rally, and this is one of them.
Scott, you're a little skeptical considering some of the Delta COVID numbers that we're seeing on the rise, even with people who have been vaccinated. We're hearing certainly those who haven't been. I mean, again, it's a bit of a setback to say the least.
No doubt about it. And you know, what's going to take us something to happen for a stock like Hilton or maybe some of the other hotel chains to really pop open? Well, it's going to be obviously the Delta variant, you know, coming back and going away. But to me, again, longer term, Ben, it's the business traveler. Yes, people are out there. People want to go on vacations. People, you know, are just sick and tired of being cooped up. But until that business traveler comes back, I'm very cautious.
All right, Scott Bauer, appreciate you joining us here. We'll look at a couple names that you've got your eye on that you think we should as well. We're talking, again, Hilton on the move higher here, screaming higher here today, currently trading up on the day on a 4% gain. Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, thanks again for giving us part of your Thursday afternoon. We're going to take a quick break. Stick around. Midday Moves at Liechtenstein. We'll be right back with